We're at 10. 9. 8.
Hi guys, I'm Maddie. I think we're about to get started. Oh, it's 10 o'clock on the dot. So yes, we're getting started. Thank you so much to everyone who's here, who signed up our emails, who's joined us today in our first virtual ceremony to celebrate the Sacred Space Revolution. I guess a little bit about myself if you don't know me, or if you do know me and you just want a refresher. I'm Maddie Murphy. I'm a business owner, healer, sister, girlfriend, very normal, average human, very flawed, very imperfect, but I have discovered, in the past few years that I am magic, just as you are. I have been through sort of a long journey, as life, a lot of ups and downs. And a few years ago, I was really called to kind of explore like my spiritual awakening, but in a very normal setting of New York City, fast-paced life. I didn't really have the luxury of like being in the jungles or mountains doing it. And so now I just want to kind of bring some of this amazing information that I've learned and share it with you so you can light up and turn on your magic and share it with others. A little background on me. I guess a few years ago, it's the story that I'm sure we're all like very, very familiar with. I was living in New York City and just feeling very disconnected. Like, I'm sure we all can relate to that. I don't know. Sorry, I must say this is my first time doing one of these online live YouTube things. If anyone's here and you want to say hi or give a shout out, then say hi. Don't be shy. And I'm going to say some stuff, and if you relate to anything, definitely chime in with like, yeah, or like, boo, or like, what are you talking about? But in shout out to Magic from Maria. I love that. Maria, you are amazing on so many levels right now. But basically, I'm sure we've all been there, but I was in my 20s in New York, working hard. I kind of accomplished what I thought was like my dream life. I was, oh, hi, Sophia K. What's up, girl? This is so fun. Our little like ceremony. I like seeing all these faces and happy little notes from everyone. But like I was saying, I had kind of worked to get to a certain point in my life. And then when I got there, I felt very disconnected, very underwhelmed, very like, oh, this is everything I was working for. And, my relationship, I felt really stuck in it, not really like inspired. I had a job that was like kind of cool, but it actually really wasn't cool at all. I thought it was cool on paper, but I was just really empty feeling on the inside and really just feeling really like not like myself. And it was hard to get out of bed. And I think looking back, I was definitely going through, oh my God, Colleen and Jenny are here. Oh, hi, Steph. Oh my gosh, I love all these babes in here right now. And I just, oh my God, Kristen, I love you, goddess babes. This is awesome. So I'm sure you all relate. You've gone through a time in your life where maybe you were like working really hard for something or thought like, this is it. Once I get to this point, get this job, get in this relationship, get this apartment, get this checkpoint in my education, I'm going to feel like whole, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to feel like the self that like I've always been like waiting to connect back to. And so, long story short, I had all the things going on paper, but I was so just miserable, like honestly, not really full of life, not really connecting to my source. And something like funny happened. My whole life kind of fell apart. And when I was forced to rebuild, it was kind of what I didn't realize I was going through was a spiritual awakening. And what started to happen slowly is that anything that was inauthentic, anything that was fake, anything that was, as I very eloquently put, that was bullshit, just kind of like, I almost developed an allergy to it. Like I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't function, I couldn't have it around me if it was like fake or inauthentic. And it was hard and it was painful because I had to say goodbye to a lot in my life. But long story short, what I realized is that by developing that sort of allergy and that resistance to all things that were not serving me, as the spiritual world would say, or bullshit, as Maddie Murphy say, it created room, so much room for like beautiful, potent, powerful magic. And I then started really studying and understanding a few concepts. These phrases kind of reemerged into my language and my life that I had never really thought of before. The divine feminine, I'm sure we've all heard of, if anyone's heard of the divine feminine, or the rising of the feminine, holler. So I know that you're with me on that. And this concepts, the things that kept popping up, the repetitive themes in my life were like, how do you clear out and create space for yourself? Like sacred space in my mind, in my body, being very like careful about what I'm putting in there in terms of like my thoughts, being careful about putting into my body, what relationships I'm putting myself into, and how do I kind of live life fully in my feminine magic, really like leading with love, connecting to nature, connecting to other women, and really using like my pleasure as my power. Instead of, we live in a world that's very like goal oriented, checking things off of a list, like powering through. And these were all kind of, I guess you call them like totems of the false masculine. And that was kind of how I lived my life from, young teenager up until like my 20s. And then when I stepped into this feminine magic is where my life just like exploded. Amazing. It's not perfect, but oh my God, it's a wild ride. I'm having so much fun. It's a beautiful adventure. And I just love connecting with other people, especially women, and helping them ignite this too. So what brings us here today is I wanted to create a sacred space, a revolution where we can all like connect to each other as sisters. We can connect virtually. We can connect like from all over the world. And I want to kind of share some things that I've learned with you, have space to connect our energies in like shared ritual and ceremony, and a space to hear from you guys of like what's present for you, what you're going through, the big things, the little things you have questions on, or just, a place to hold space for one another. So I'm going to check my handy dandy agenda now. So basically today is just a super simple like intro to, you might be sitting there either like, yeah, awesome, I'm on board with all this. I know everything you're saying, preach, Maddie. Or maybe you're just like, what? That sounds so abstract and I don't understand anything you're talking about, or how we begin this like path of igniting your divine feminine and becoming magnetic and living a life of like rich, juicy purpose. So I'm just going to break it down like very simple for today. I just wanted to share, just to create a space, about clearing some space. I want to share some things with each other of maybe ways that we feel like stuck or held back, or things that are just making us feel disconnected. Because that's part of igniting your magic, is like this clearing of the bullshit, and just figuring out, identifying what it is, clearing it. And sometimes just so much as saying it out loud or sharing it with sisters is like the first very big step in like kind of giving away its power over you. And then I thought it'd be fun to then, once we cleared some space, to kind of create some sacred space in our mind through a very simple, very quick little meditation, just to, again, like create the space for our very wise, very beautiful bodies to kind of speak to us. And then the third part, which is super simple, is then to kind of connect to our magic. So we've cleared, we're going to connect, and then we're going to create like some magic. And what we're going to do with that is just a very simple ritual that I've been doing for the past year or so, about just like connecting to our pleasure and connecting to what that means in a very simple way that you could do anywhere. Like in the morning when you wake up, at work when you're stressed out, if you're just like running around the city, if you're, watching your kids, if you're just like feeling so run down and like just that dried out, like slogging through life, weary feeling, a very simple ritual that just connects you back to your pleasure, because that's your power and it's amazing. So do we have any questions before I get started on all of that? Is everyone with me? Loving this out there in the goddess universe? Okay, so I think everyone, maybe no matter who you are, where you're at in your life, there might be things that you do think are like holding you back from either where you want to be or where you want to go. Or maybe the thing that's holding you back is you don't even know where you want to go. Like you don't even have a dream or a goal. That was actually my issue for a very long time. So I thought I had things on paper that I wanted to do. But when someone actually, like if someone could point a magic wand in my life and be like, okay, I will give you anything you want. I will make any dream come true, any like career you want, any man you want, any home you want. I didn't even know where to start. And I think that's because I was just disconnected from my source. And I also probably thought on some level I wasn't worthy of whatever that thing was. Or maybe also on some level I knew that that wasn't really going to fill me up at that point in my life. It was something that was ineffable, intangible that I was looking for. So if anybody has like some things that they think are holding them back in their life, or just areas where you feel like disconnected, you can like throw it in the chat room, tell me. I think like for myself, I could probably have like a list that's like 8 pages long of the ways that I felt disconnected, or that some things that I still like struggle with and feeling stuck. Probably the biggest thing is that we all tend to forget that we are divine. Like we are divinely orchestrated, beautifully created works of art, masterpieces of the universe. We are women, especially women in this room, but also just for going forward, when I talk about the divine feminine also exists in men and women, and however you identify, it's just a part of our soul that has been like a little bit, or very much so, oppressed and shut down and kind of just not given any voice to. So part of this awakening of the feminine is about letting this feminine shine in both men and women. But I'm going to talk to my sisters right now because I only see women in the chat room. But if you're a guy and you're turning in, this so applies to you too. So as women, we forget we're divine. That's like a really big first step. And then, I see Maria just chimed in with like afraid or stuck with the fear of actually being successful. Like, yes, that is so true. Like one of our biggest emotions that we actually fear is joy. I was just listening to an amazing podcast with Brene Brown. I totally recommend her if you want to look at her like podcasts or books. And she said that's the biggest fear we have is actually of being joyful. So we are afraid of success. We're afraid of getting all that we wish for. We're afraid of really stepping into our full potential sometimes. It could be in part because we don't want to put ourselves out there to be rejected. We don't want to have everything, because when we have everything, it means we have everything to lose and to risk. But that's a very, very common. I see that with a lot of women. I felt that myself for sure. Some other ways that you could just, a very general, big way that we might feel disconnected is, you just feel like very paralyzed by indecision. Like that's something that a lot of women feel. Like they just feel like they don't even know which way to turn. There's too many options. We're too overstimulated. We have too much like noise and chatter, and too many people's opinions and too much like information. Some other ways, just feeling like overworked, like working so hard and just feeling this mentality of like the harder you work, the harder like you can enjoy life, and you have to earn everything, and you have to feel like if it's not a challenge or you're not working kind of 24/7, then like you're lazy or you're not like, whatever, living up to your potential. Some other ways, I don't know, things that might be holding you back. Like if I asked you like today, like, okay, we're going to step into your magic. Let's do this. Let's figure out like what's your biggest dream? What's your biggest feeling you want to embody? Like what's this life that you want for yourself? And let's make it happen, and let's start today. You might ask yourself, like, what's the first like feeling you feel? You're like, yes, let's do that. Or are you like, I don't have time, or like, that's not the life that's meant for me, or who am I to dream so big? Or, that works for other people who are like woo woo and spiritual, but not for me. Or, I don't have the discipline to meditate every morning. Or there's a whole like list of stuff. People are just, we tend to shut ourselves down in a lot of ways. And all I want to do is work together and create a sisterhood where we hold a space to slowly like peel back and melt off the layers. And a cool thing, I was at 2 weekends ago a seminar with Mama Gina, and who's also a fantastic person to check out and research her work. And I really like what she said about, like, we tend to, especially as women, like, get very small, and we don't want to, like, bother anyone or do anything. We're constantly apologizing and managing and, like, manipulating ourselves to fit in other people's lives and not make other people uncomfortable. And we also think everything of, like, why we're not feeling good is our fault. Like, we're not working hard enough, we're not spiritual enough, or we're not, you know, doing all the things. And what she really asked everyone to look at was, like, well, what's actually maybe wrong with society and this, like, patriarchal system that we've lived in, and that we're a conditioning, like a product of the conditioning of for hundreds of years. And maybe that's what's wrong with, like, the way you're feeling, not something that's something from the inside out. So a lot of this sacred space revolution is going to be, like, wagging our middle fingers at the patriarchy, and we're going to have a ton of fun doing that, and we're going to figure out the ways that we've been conditioned to think about ourselves, each other, our bodies, our pleasure, our worth, just like our potential. And we're just going to, like, decondition that, uncondition that, change the programming in our mind, so that way it's very quick to identify when this kind of false, like, insecurities pop up with these false beliefs. So that's a really fun part of the revolution if you're down. Um, so, okay. So, okay, yeah, Sophia, I see, you say, I feel lazy as I'm comparing to others. That was such a big one for me, because I would watch people that I admire in my life so much, and they've, like, read all of the books, and they meditate every morning, and they go to yoga, and they make a green juice in the morning, and they do all this stuff, and they're, like, constantly, like, staying on this path that I, some days, like I said before, like, couldn't even get out of bed in the morning, or just felt so, like, this lethargic haze over me, that I was like, even if I have this intention that I want to connect with my divine self, my femininity, my sensuality, my spirituality, I just, like, don't have the energy to, or I'm not at this other person's pace. But that's a very, very, very valid and very, like, common thing that I hear and feel all the time. And, you know, we're going to, like, dive deeper into that, into some other, like, of our ceremonies and some of our, like, chats. But I do want you to know that that's such a common belief, and that's also a conditioning of the patriarchy that feels like you have to, have your to-do list in the morning, and you have to check everything off, and you have to, like, read this book, go to this retreat, or get this certification to be spiritual, or to be magic, or to be, like, owning your divine feminine. That's actually, like, completely, we're just gonna, like, work on just clearing out that, because that is bullshit. That's noise. Like, as women, just us being, and just being together, and finding pleasure in our everyday life, and creating space, and however that feels right for us, and being just in the very nature of connecting with one another, is actually, like, a huge part of the work. And part of the sacred space revolution is connecting to your sacred space within, so you can connect to your, like, wise inner guru, your own healer, your own voice, your own master, and you know what you need and what you don't need. Like, you don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't do this, like, 5-part challenge, or this, didn't read this book, or didn't sign up for this thing. And, like, that's the patriarchy. Like, they think they whoever they is, patriarchal powers that be, have made us believe that we need to constantly be doing to be accomplishing, or constantly to be buying something, because we're being told that something's wrong with us. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Sophia. Okay, cool. So I think we've all, like, kind of identified some things that we're just trying to clear out. And this is it. Like, I know this might seem overly simplified, but this is so, everything we're doing today is a really big part of igniting your divine feminine spark. And you might be on this path for a while, but trust me, like, igniting your divine feminine spark is something, like, we should feel honored to get to do on a regular basis, because there's always new levels of, like, juicy power to unleash. So that was step one. Now, like I said, we're going to do a very, very simple, just meditation. Some people here, I don't know if you have a meditation practice, like, chime in. If you hate the idea of meditation and it makes your whole body, like, tense up and feel rigid, let me know too. Get at me. I used to like roll my eyes whenever I talk to someone. They'd be like, well, maybe you should just try meditating. And I'd be like, that's literally the last thing that I want to hear. And I'm like so anxious and ready to go and ready to do something, feeling so like wired. The last thing I want to do or have time to do is like sit and get quiet. But I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. That is how we create the sacred space within our mind. We like allow some space, some air, some room to breathe in there. So that way, like the beautiful, beautiful magic wisdom of our bodies can then like get through. And our, our heart center, our womb center, the source of all of our power, our yoni, where, we create life emerges from. These are all like the smartest ever, like wisdom control centers. Everything we need is here and ready for us. Like we just need to kind of create that space to listen to it. So yeah, Sophia, we're going to be contemplating right now. We're going to be just so if you're in a space where you could do this, get comfortable. You could sit up, you could lay back. If you're in your office right now, you could just kind of maybe like close your eyes or fixate even at one point if you don't want people to think you're sleeping on the job. But we're going to just do a really simple meditation. Just going to walk you through it. And it's just about, like I said, creating space and connecting to your body's wisdom. So, okay. So get comfortable, and if you can, close your eyes, and we're just gonna take like a few deep breaths. We're gonna just inhale and exhale. Just feel like this rhythm of your breath. Feel this big inhale. Feel the way it fills up your body. And on your exhale, just let yourself like sink deeper onto your chair, or your bed, or your couch. And on your inhale, we're just gonna inhale all of like good, juicy, loving energy, and exhale out like a filter that's gone through your body. Exhale anything, any tension, any tightness, anything you've been holding on to that just doesn't serve you. And just, now let your breath go to a natural rhythm. Feel like just the softness of your body. Feel how your breath is moving your body. If you can, place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. And take another deep breath in. Really feel the breath moving in your body. Feel the way your chest lifts up and down, and the way your belly gets full, soft. Now, as you follow the breath, just begin to scan your awareness around your body. Just like with a curious, almost detached, just looking at your body of, okay, where are there some spots of tension? Maybe it's your jaw. And just send your breath there and allow your jaw to feel relaxed. And with every breath, it's like hitting it with a blast of heat that's just melting away anything that's stuck or rigid there. And as you take a deep breath in, send this breath, this melting warmth, maybe to your shoulders. Allow your breath to be almost like a gentle massage, or like a perfect temperature water, just melting away any tension there, running down your shoulders, down your arms. As you continue, just connect with your breath. And start now just to invite your breath deeper into your body, deeper into your belly. Feel your breath get so deep that you feel like it could just go all the way from the tip of your toes back up to the top of your head. With every breath in, Just imagine space being created, luminous light reflecting throughout your body. And as you exhale, just send that awareness back through your body and imagine that this breath now that's circulating through you and creating almost like a beautiful, shimmering, just pools of light throughout your whole body. And just imagine the life energy going, shimmering, shining outwards from you now and connecting with the world around you. And on a deep breath in, you breathe in. On the exhale, you feel this energy connect with the room around you. Take one more breath in of this light. On the exhale, you feel this breath out connect with just the whole town or city you're in. You're sending this loving, connective, beautiful life force energy out. Take one more breath in, creating space, iridescent, sparkling light in your body. And on your last exhale, you feel this loving light energy connect just with the whole world around you, everything, every cell of every being, every plant, animal, person, and you're just connected through a sparkling, beautiful, divine web of light, while also just having a protective boundary around you that you've created. And this space within you feels warm and tingly. You can feel yourself coming back to the room. You open your eyes and just feel yourself. If you feel any difference in your body, you kind of can, after you do this, just imagine yourself like that you're just ignited, that you've just been kind of injected with a special life force energy where you feel calm, but like rejuvenated all in the same way. And you're kind of ready to have this carry you throughout your day in this sacred space that you've created inside of you that's sealed, but also connected. So that's just a very simple example of a meditation that just allows us to just connect to our divinity, our body's wisdom, and just something as simple as doing something as short as that. In the morning when you wake up, it's a beautiful way to just start your intention for you. It's like robing yourself in a beautiful like shield of white light that you get to then really create your experience when you go out in the world. And maybe it seems silly, or if it's like really short, or just like, okay, what really could happen from that? I like definitely ask you to give it a few days of doing something like that, a meditation, or just being like quiet with yourself for 5 minutes, and you'll definitely notice a huge difference in the way your mind moves and the things you attract all day, and just how you're in tune with like your body. And our bodies just want to be listened to, so creating that space for them can go really, really far. So how's everybody feeling post little meditation, little sacred space activation? Let me know if you're like still with me, or maybe you're all still like out there tripping out in like the cosmic universe, which is totally cool too. So we talked about, we cleared some stuff out. We sort of like created some sacred space within us, and then just the last and super simple final way to kind of connect to your magic now. Like we've created, we're connecting to our magic, which is our pleasure. This is stuff we'll go into in a deeper dive later on. We'll talk about like all the time pleasure and the art of connecting to your pleasure and injecting like moment by moment every like day, every step of your life with like a rich, juicy pleasure is one of my like favorite practices, my favorite subjects to explore. But what's really cool, igniting the divine feminine magic. Sometimes people hear magic and they're like, what does that even mean? And like, that's really abstract. You're like, you're really kooky and you love talking about magic so much. But I really do, because as women, we are magic. We create life. We have the ability to expand and hold space for so much healing for ourselves and others and change. And I think we all could probably think of like 3 women in our lives who absolutely blow us away with their sheer magnitude for like love and compassion and service to others, and just your strong will or determination to make the world a better place. So we are magic. It's just about connecting to that. And as women, we are meant to be like enjoying pleasure all the time. And this is what helps live our life and make it very colorful and fun. So what's really cool is that there is a special hormone that is very active in the female body. I'm not like a student of biology, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but it's one of my favorite things to study at a very high level. Oxytocin, it's a healing hormone. It's released like when we're happy, and it's really cool because researchers and like scientists are just starting to kind of understand like the huge, enormous depths and potential of this hormone. And some people are even starting to call it the goddess hormone, which I absolutely love and adore. And there are so many ways to activate like this hormone throughout your day, whenever you want. And that's also one of our amazing birthrights, is we have access to this beautiful, magical elixir of a hormone to kind of just change our mindset. It heals our body. It helps us become like basically magnets for that which we like, our soul desires. So I'm going to show you something. Everyone like can just again sit up, and we're just going to rub our hands together. You're going to generate some heat. You guys are going to laugh at like how easy this thing is. When I'm done with it, you're going to be like, what? That's crazy. That's so simple. But I love simplicity. We all are goddesses on the go. We don't have maybe time for like a 4-hour sensuality ritual in the morning, but I hope to get there one day. So once your hands feel nice and warm, oh yeah, that's nice. Just look at that energy your body creates. It's like crazy. It's like my hands are so hot right now. So you're gonna place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, just how we did in the meditation. And just feel like that loving warmth of your hands, and just feel like your breath moving with that, just in our meditation. And you're just gonna move these like tingly, warm hands to like different areas of your body. Maybe you have tension or some kind of pain or like a dis-ease. Or maybe we're just feeling like where we carry our worries, or maybe where we just like know we're maybe carrying a little too much right now, and the weight of our shoulders, or like in our throats, maybe we've had something that we like want to say but don't know how to, or just maybe like our wrists hurt from constantly carrying stuff around, typing all day, or I carry a lot of my tension in between my eyebrows, and just connecting like for 3 breaths in the spot of your choosing, and just feeling that warmth again, like just melting away anything that feels stuck there, just like a oozing. Just imagine it like right before you, just softly melting. And visualize just like love and pleasure and beauty and grace just being infused into that area of your body. And you just imagine this is like filling your body right now, filling these spots with like a beautiful luminous light of like your favorite color. Maybe it's royal blue, or beautiful soft pink, or rich royal purple. And just that healing touch has been scientifically proven to release that oxytocin, that goddess hormone. And just taking like moments of the day to connect and touch your own body, and to just give yourself little loving massages. There's a lot of cool things we can learn, and we're going to explore so many amazing fun tools and tricks and techniques and tips. But what I love about everything that we kind of just went over is everything costs like $0. All of that could be done in literally 5 minutes in the morning, or any time during your day where you start to feel like frazzled or overwhelmed, or or just disconnected from your power, from your magic, from your beauty and your femininity. So, I really I'm excited to like explore more of this with you guys, and you guys are with me here like day one, so that's rad, and I really appreciate that. But I do want to hear from you guys either in the chat, or you can drop me an email after this. We're gonna open up a Facebook group too, but maybe like what are some of the things if you had questions about today or any of these practices, or if you have things that are present for you that you want to talk about or learn more about. And what I wanted to do is really create a sacred space and a safe place for all these conversations. No topic is too big or too little. I don't know everything, and I'm totally cool and honest with being like, I don't know the answer to that, but let's figure it out together. Like, let's work through this. Let's talk through this. I'm a very, very real, very normal person. So there's no like worrying about like if you're doing something that you feel embarrassed of or guilty or ashamed of. I've probably done it 1 or 100 times before. So I'm really looking forward to just like continuing this conversation with you guys. I have some like big dreams for all of you and some big things I really want to tackle together. But basically, the most important thing is I just want to really create like a cohesive community, a sisterhood, a tribe where we can connect from all over the world, and just really show up for each other and really delve deeper into creating sacred space in ourselves, in our lives, in our bodies, connecting to, holding space, holding sacred space for each other, for our own healing and each other's healing. And I really am excited to talk more about how we can take up space, how we can take up big sacred space in our lives, and we can show up and be big and vibrant and beautiful and like just your magnificent brilliance, unfettered, with nothing holding you back. So these are all the things I'm super stoked on. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for everyone who chimed in the chat. Maria, Sophia, Jenny, Colleen, Stephanie, Kristen. You guys are amazing. Big shout out to Audrey for like setting all this up, my tech creative goddess. And I hope that you guys can just walk out into this day feeling a little bit more lit up, a little bit more magical, and just ready to like live this biggest, most magical version of you in your life. So yeah, so I think that's it. I'm checking my notes one last time to make sure I didn't forget anything. I'm guessing everyone here is signed up for our emails. If you aren't, then please do, and pass it on to like a sister or a friend or someone that you want to join in this space. And don't be a stranger. Reach out. Let me know whatever you want. And I guess until next time, my goddess babes, bye.